going to take a look at a really early Neil Young song from the first Buffalo Springfield album, and but he also did it. He continued to play it at solo shows for quite a while. "Flying on the Ground is Wrong." Now, in this little segment, I just want to talk about, well, first of all, a little of the history of the song. It's everybody's writing songs about drug use back then, and it was his first song, he says, about marijuana. And inspired a little bit by Roy Orbison as well, if you start tracking down comments. So anyway, we're mostly going to look at how he did it in a solo versions in his Archives series that came out, well, about 10 years ago now. And but I will talk a little bit about the Buffalo Springfield version and some of the differences. But the first thing I want to talk about here is just the introduction, this little chord progression. It's an A chord moving to an A6, which is done by adding the sixth note of the A scale, F sharp, second fret of the first string. And then A major 7 by adding G sharp. So you're going to start with an A chord, then, and I would finger this the way I normally finger A's, with my first finger in the middle, second finger on the fourth string, and third finger on the second string. And that lets you do something that Neil Young does as part of his intro, where he starts with the second string open, and then puts the C sharp back on the second beat. Then to the sixth, then to the seventh, major seventh, and back to the sixth, with a little bounce back up to the major seventh. So we got a really interesting rhythm there that is also could be done with single time strumming. So I was doing that in double time, meaning I was doing downs at the speed of eighth notes rather than the speed of quarter notes. Here's what it would sound like at the speed of quarter notes. It's much easier. So it's just basically just two beats on each chord. Down, down, up. We count that 1, 2, and if we put in the suspended 2 on the first beat, we'd have this. That's the two beats of A. Then two beats of A6. The exact same thing, down, down, up. Then two beats of A major 7. But it goes back to the sixth, to the F sharp, on the up. And then another up with the major 7th, and back to the 6th on the last down. One more time. Then a similar rhythm goes to A minor, adds a high 7th. This would be a G natural now. And then to D7. Now, the Buffalo Springfield version doesn't quite do this, so this is Neil's acoustic version. To the D7, and the same little rhythmic bounce by opening up the second string, taking the C off for a B, and back on and back off. Now, if we want to try to do all of that in double time, our now downs are going to be twice as fast. So that's some of the things that we're going to address in this song. Actually, we're going to look at the whole chord progression. And there's a lot of unusual chords in this. We're going to have some A major 7s moving to some other chords up and down the neck. We're going to have some bar chords in some unusual shapes. And of course, there's going to be alternative ways to do all of these. So we'll take a little more detailed look at the chords and the strumming patterns, and mostly about the progression. And both versions, the early version that Neil did not sing, they didn't trust his voice enough, and later versions that he played on his own. "Flying on the Ground is Wrong," coming up.